going on, all you shitheads? Fabian here, the comic guy, but I'm not here alone. I'm here with my shitty friends.
Hi, I'm Justin.
That's the first shitty friend. I'm Perkins.
And it's your boy, Danny.
That's rude.
Hello, I'm Alex.
My name is Crystal.
And today we are going to be talking about some stop motion, baby. I am so excited for this episode. When it comes to stop motion, first one that comes to mind is like Coraline. I think about Nightmare Before Christmas.
Those are the classics.
That's what I expected.
Yeah, those are definitely.
Like, yeah.
Normally, when I hear stop motion, I go, "Oh no, I'm okay."
Stop motion was. I'm very weird about it because I like it, but also it doesn't matter which or like what iteration of it is. It's creepy.
It's so creepy.
It's a creepy form of animation.
I guess because that shit's real. Like again,
Yeah,
it's
maybe-
animated, but it's all like
But even like stuff that like Chicken Run.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that, it's not meant to be creepy in any way, but for
Right.
It's
some
just 'cause
reason
it's
the
awkward,
style.
'cause it doesn't flow.
I think Wallace and Gromit had some jump scares.
Wallace, that's what I was like, what's that
Yeah.
one? Wallace and Gromit.
But like that particular, like those kid movies and shows that were
James and the Giant Peach.
fucking.
Fucking
Chicken Run was
James.
stop motion.
James and Jack was just
claymation, which
weird.
is a form of
It was
stop
so
motion.
awkward.
So we had to look this up. Claymation,
Yeah,
is
claymation-
just like a sub of stop
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah.
It's still
Run.
absolutely.
I
Which is
remember
like
Chicken
Chicken
Run. I
Run
like that
falls
movie.
Yeah.
Their mouths are always like,
Yeah, they
weird
definitely
fuck.
they have like a weird. Yeah.
Same
but-
thing with like Wallace and Gromit shares the same like anime. I think it's all the same animation studio. So
Oh, old school one. Green
the
guy.
difference between clay animation and stop motion is just they use clay. Like that's the
Yeah.
only difference, really.
Who's the green stick guy? God damn
Gumby?
it. Gumby. Dude,
Gumby.
holy shit. That was some weird shit, bro.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I actually have a Gumby like world's smallest toy on my work desk. Like I look at it every day. I have a little Gumby just.
That's awesome.
Forgot
Like
about
a
that
big one.
shit.
Yeah.
We had one of our
Yeah, I
one
was
of our
thinking-
music videos. We had a friend dress up as Pony. We didn't have an official drummer at that point, and he wasn't our official drummer. But like down the line, he became a drummer for a little bit.
was it?
It was Ricky. Yeah, we just needed a drummer for the music video, but our drummer had quit, so we were like, you want to play through this wearing like a costume or something? And it worked out because somebody showed up with a Gumby costume.
No way.
It was so random.
No way.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was like
They
that.
actually just recently did something like that. Fallout Boy did because their guitarist is calling it quits for a little bit. So in their latest music video, their guitarist wore like a costume the entire
Yeah.
time.
Whoa.
Do you guys remember those old claymation? I got it pulled up right here, but the old Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought you were
Yeah.
going to talk about the Brisk Tea commercials for some
Oh my
reason.
god, even those.
It's that same style.
But
Yeah.
those Christmas movies are my favorite.
Yeah, those were
Which
amazing.
is weird
Do you
because I
still
did
think-
just say
Do you still think they're creepy? Like in like a way?
I don't.
Rudolph.
I don't think they're creepy.
Right, they had a Rudolph
I still
one?
think the Rudolph
Yeah.
one when the
Wow,
fucking the abominable
fuck
snowman
me.
shows
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Year without
Still a little
Santa
creepy.
But it does make the abominable snowman seem so much more creepy
Yeah.
than what it
There
really
was
is.
a TikTok guy and his family recreated like a scene from the Santa Claus where they were like acting in the same way.
Oh, the way they move.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
awfully like ticky.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
very
choppy.
ticky.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're moving like this. the
I
whole
was
started
so
time.
noticing
funny.
that a little bit when we were talking
Yeah.
about like Mad God later, but I think it's just the camera angles themselves were making it look like
I'm
that.
excited to
Yeah.
talk
I
about
Can't
that,
wait
bro.
to get into
I
that.
cannot talk about it and be fine, but we can talk about it. Yeah, the old Christmas commercials were fucking, or movies were a staple
Those
of
were
our
good,
childhood.
yeah.
There was a game. The game.
Clay fighters.
Yeah, Clay Fighters.
Dude,
Man.
I remember they had the snowman because we talk about these movies. They had the snowman in there as a fighter. He was like a main character.
It was really weird because the entire game was styled like a Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or
Yeah.
Tekken, but
Yeah.
it was all claymation. So it was, which I feel like is probably one of the coolest like uses of stop motion because it was interactive.
Yeah.
They didn't just film the scene and then it's done. They had to film like what happens if this guy punches this particular
Yeah.
character, what happens if he kicks this particular character. I feel like that's actually, now that I think about it more, it's kind of fucking mind blowing how like
They did that.
much work
Just
went into
ahead
that
of its
one.
time.
Well, if you-
So many,
well, if you
like,
think about
motions.
it, if you think about it too, like the early Mortal Kombat was like that too. Like, yes, that was
Oh,
clay,
yeah.
but
They were using
Mortal
the
Kombat. Yeah, they were
pictures
using
and, like,
pictures. So
Yeah.
early video games were
Sick.
almost like a form
Yeah,
of
because
stop
you had
motion.
to, yeah, you're right.
Whoa, that's cool. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I gotta say, I love it when we bring it to video games because we were talking about Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah.
That is one of like my favorite.
That was
games
such a
right
good
there. Even the show too.
The show show was so good.
God.
I feel like there'd be so much content if they brought it back now.
I agree. Like just with
Yeah.
the celebrities that we have nowadays, you know, like they were doing it with celebrities of our time.
I think now it's probably going to be, it would be more controversial because what they would
Oh
do.
yeah, because they're killing.
They would
celebrities.
not only would they kill it, but they would really pull out like the stereotypes and
They would
like
get
like
canceled.
character flaws of like these
Yeah.
artists that they would use. So they'd probably do something that would offend, you know, whoever they put on it. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, South Park still does it.
I was about to
Yeah.
say South Park is like one of those
They've
shows
definitely
as well.
watered
Like
down. I
So-
think they've realized like
South
what's
Park,
happening.
stop motion.
No.
I didn't
They
think
used
they
to
wanted
be.
it
I
out.
was gonna
used to
say
be.
South Park started off stop motion because they would use
Oh shit!
Card-
Wow, that's right. The
Construction paper.
construction paper. They
Yeah.
would use construction paper, and they had different motions for the mouth, and it would take them weeks.
I knew when we
to do an
started talking
episode.
about this, I was going to be like, "Oh shit, I didn't realize."
Yeah.
Yeah, South
Yeah.
Park.
I
You
just
could
watched.
tell.
Yeah, I just watched the documentary, and it's on HBO. That it takes them 6 days now to make an episode.
6 days to air, yeah.
Yeah, which is terrifying. I think about like, so for us, whenever we do edits for our podcast, like I think of like how much time I have to do it, and they literally write the stories from like start to finish, and they have to animate it, and they have to like make it make sense to what's going on. You know, for a season, they try to fit a theme. So I don't know, just like that process is so scary because like they'll send Comedy Central the episodes the day that it needs to air.
That's actually pretty. That's impressive.
It's
It
really
is. It's
impressive.
really
but very
impressive to watch.
scary.
Because keeping it topical while also like, all right, now rush it
Up
and get
to
it
date.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's cool because so like the episode where Obama was became president, they were able to create that episode all around that because they make them so quickly. So by the time that it was time for that, they could have gone with whoever became president. And they just, you know, Obama won, so they put him in that part of. They made it like an Ocean's 11 type
Yeah.
thing, and because he just became president to steal some diamonds that were, you know, connected to the underground of the White House or something. It's cool in that documentary because they show you how they used to create everything with stop motion. They
Yeah.
have the lunchroom and how they do like the pans and stuff like that. The way
Wouldn't
they
they
did
just
it.
like wiggle in like the background or something?
Well, no. So they have the backgrounds and they would sit the characters on it, and then they would switch in and out the mouth. And back then, it was a lot more, I guess, crude. Like it was, there was a lot more motion to them because,
Yeah.
you know, they would
Stuff
take the
would
mouth.
move.
Yeah, they would take the mouth off, so it would wiggle just a little bit, and they would put
yeah.
another mouth, and you know, like every time it would just slightly move. So they were like more, I don't know, choppy. I guess
That
back in the
turns that
day.
into so much more of an art in my brain than I really ever considered it.
Yeah.
being.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, the originals were fucking. If you compare them to how they look now, it's all nice and smooth. But I remember back in the day, like the Cartman gets probed or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's the first episode actually.
You know, but like
Yeah,
if
oh
you
my
look at
gosh.
that episode and compare it to like the ones now, you could tell that they was.
Yeah.
It was good though.
It
But
was.
like, but thinking about how much time it must have taken to do the original ones is fucking
Yeah.
insane.
So we were talking about something on one of our previous episodes on remakes, but I think it's a beautiful thing to address it all the time because I personally love like stop motion and practical effects more than
Yeah.
CGI. Would you like consider one of these movies like the classics better than if it were to have CGI in it like nowadays? Or?
It's tough because okay, so for example, the first Jurassic Park was almost gonna have clay animation, stop motion dinosaurs. But they had just discovered how to do CGI, which is wild to me because what didn't we just discover when the first Jurassic Park came out? It was like what, 97 or 93 maybe? But that the CGI on that is still like pretty solid considering
Yeah.
93.
how old, yeah, considering how old that is. But originally they were going to be like clay animation dinosaurs and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah, and they
Oh,
That would have
Wow.
been so different.
it
Yeah.
would have like
I don't think it would have won as
It-
much shit.
no.
No
it wouldn't
way.
have been
Those
nearly as good.
animatronics looked like actual dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You would
No,
not
you're
have.
really good at making those.
Yeah.
It's I think it's to the conversation like practical effects versus impractical now. I feel like with stop motion or claymation, for me, always going to be a little bit better because it's tangible.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
you see that 3D, that shadow effect is real. Like you have to film all the way around it. You could film their backside.
I
the
won't
same
get
time.
scared of something that's like CGI nowadays compared to like, you know, what we've seen.
I think that was a problem with me for like its effects. Like it looked too fake. The CGI made it unscary.
But I don't know, because even in the Tim Curry the part when the drain opens up, that's stop.
Yeah.
It's
I was gonna
stop
say
motion,
they
and
did stop motion.
Fucking practical effects, man. That shit
Yeah.
is awesome.
It's really cool to me because it's something that like anyone could do. Like it is really complex. Like if you're making like a whole ass movie, like obviously that's like way more complex, but it is something that like anyone can do.
Right.
Last summer at TC we had a kids camp where we did art camp and we did like stop motion movies, and it's just taking a picture,
so awesome.
moving it, taking a picture, moving it, and these kids are like, look at what I created because
It's like those
just,
flip books.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to ask about flip books. Like, would you consider flip books stop motion?
guess so.
I mean, that's the early stages of it.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
a drawing
Yeah.
and a change a draw. I feel like it might actually be a little bit more complex because you have to redraw that shit
Yeah.
100 times.
We talk
And-
about. Oh, go on. Go on.
I was gonna say
No, you're good,
on
you're good.
YouTube that one with the puddle that you showed me.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like anyone could
It
do
was
it.
like the most basic like clay animation, but it was so funny. They didn't have like a crazy form like what these people look like. I'll probably find a picture of it because it's so, I don't know. I was really into these like stop motion clay animation comedy skits, but basically I think it's called like the puddle or something like that, and this guy spills a cup of water. Everyone just over exaggerates the size of this puddle. He's like, "Sir, I'm coming to help you." Like it's a disaster kind of thing. He's like, "Oh no, oh no, I'm gonna drown," and like someone just walks over to the puddle and just
It's so funny.
it is really funny.
It is one of those things that's like it's not out of reach. Like it's something that you could use to create.
Honestly, one of the people that made that reel for me was Jack Stauber, and I think I'm saying his name right. but,
You're saying correctly. Go for it.
but
bro.
man, like this is someone of our generation. He's only 26, but he's taken like stop motion to the next level, and I believe he started off with just like little skits that he would do, just of awkward situations that like we've all encountered. And there's this one Adult Swim actually picked him up. And they did like this grocery thing, and basically he just went episodes on Adult Swim, just doing like he would come in, or his character would come in, and this episode was about eggs, and like the eggs were crying, or the milk, and the milk was crying because it was expired, and like it made a sad song. And the eggs, and then it went down the list every episode.
What was the show called? Was it just this? Was it just like random things that they would throw in between each
Got you.
show, or was it? Because was that the same guy that did Moral Oral, or is that a different guy?
That's a different guy.
I was actually thinking about Adult Swim and how much they've utilized stop motion.
Opal, or
Like
It's not Opal, but
Or
I'll
a
get
pop
into that
opera.
one. But that pop-up
Shop a pop opera.
Yeah, shop. Yeah, that's the one.
Shop a Hip Hop Anonymous.
But that one,
I was like,
it was like he's in the grocery store, and it would go like every single episode. Like this one's about lettuce. This one's about cheese.
Yeah.
But Opal's amazing. If you guys have time, watch that on HBO because
it sounds so familiar.
Watch
It's
Samantha.
so eerie. The best thing that he does is he incorporates song into it. Like this man, he tells a story, but literally, like what makes it so great is the songs in the background. If you watch Opal, like there's this one where there's a dad and he's a smoker, and the whole time his song's about like he's like, "Tell me why it's so hard to breathe."
Damn.
And like, yeah, it's amazing. If you see the visuals on it and everything, it's so eerie. I love it.
Yeah.
I can appreciate the time and like the art of it, but it's still so weird to me. Like I understand like they have to put so much work into making like, you know, the one scene by, you know, like you said, like moving it, but it's still because of how choppy it is and just because of like sometimes like visually just how it looks, it's unappealing to me. And so I think honestly, because Justin was getting ready to mention Adult Swim.
Adult Swim, yeah.
Yeah, Adult Swim. I was like, but there was a lot of stuff that everybody's like, "Oh yeah, did you ever watch this?" And I'm like, "No." I was like, I got to a point where I was like, "Fuck, Adult Swim, seriously?" And I would get pissed that it was on.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
but
I
it
didn't
was
like
because,
some of these shows
Like
either,
I would
but they
see
used
that
them a
pop
lot.
up, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch this."
You would
I'm like,
cut it off at a
I'm not
certain
fucking
time.
want- Yeah,
What's that
so I would
show
just
that
change
like
it.
Seth Green does?
Robot Chicken.
Robot
Robot
Chicken.
Dude,
I
I
hate
loved
that
Robot
shit.
Robot
Chicken.
Chicken.
Dude.
was-
I hate
Dude, I
Robot Chicken.
loved that shit. It was
I
just so
like it too.
it was stupid fun.
Oh, yeah,
the robot in the washing machine, like that was one of the earlier ones. Like he kept
Oh, he
looking
just
around,
goes banging it. Yeah.
and then later on they bring him back, and he does it again.
My favorite is Voltron breakdance fighting.
Yo, who'd he go
Oh yeah,
against?
that was funny.
Fuck.
I don't know. The
I think it was just
monster, I don't know.
I think it was just a random.
The guy the rap in that was very similar to DMX's
Yeah.
Let's Get It On. That was Seth Green that was rapping.
No way.
funny.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
They-
I
they-
just
I mean,
couldn't
Ro-
get past some of it visually. I bet if I could, maybe I would have enjoyed some of it. But there's some on.
Cocaine Yeti.
fucking
They had the
change it.
cocaine
Oh,
Yeti
yeah.
in fucking Robot Chicken. You ever seen a Yeti with a pound of cocaine go off at the airport?
That's what
Not
sparked
pretty.
Cocaine Bear.
It's fucking everywhere though. Like there's so much
Yeah.
stop motion again, all the way from like Nightmare Before Christmas and the
Yeah.
Disney Christmas movies that everybody likes.
Yeah.
I will say that thinking of Nightmare Before Christmas, of Pinocchio,
Yeah.
this recently
one?
came out. the
Still
new
haven't
one.
watched. I need to
Is that
watch it. I
stop
want to watch
motion?
it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
What?
the
Fucking
from the
beautiful.
change from watching how it was done there to even though they're two different styles at the same time, like just knowing that they're both stop motion, like if like Pinocchio flows so well.
So
That
different.
I actually really enjoyed Pinocchio.
Yeah.
And they're close to the same, but it's also very different because like the story of it just seems so much darker than when we watched it. as
Wow.
kids.
Yeah.
A lot of
Like,
similarities between Tim Burton, who did Nightmare Before Christmas, and Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, I was gonna say they
I feel
have
like that's like
pretty
our,
similar styles.
Yeah, it's our new like
Dark.
modern day Tim Burton in a way.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that Pinocchio movie was
It was actually
so
really good. I
fucking
enjoyed
good.
it a
I didn't
lot.
think it was going to be. Admittedly, I feel like a lot of the stop motion eerie stuff. Like I hear Fabian over here gushing over it, and that's not my jam. I don't
Well,
want to. I don't want to
I was
delve
just
into
gonna say,
eerie. Like I
like-
want the lighthearted.
Yeah,
stop
honestly,
motion.
and then you have stuff like Fantastic Mr. Fox. Shout out
Oh,
Tyler,
yeah.
I mentioned it. But, yeah, like Wes Anderson made that one, and then it's like stuff that I think George Clooney's the main guy in there.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's something like takes a completely different direction. I love the eerie shit.
No, I get that.
I
and
do
I understand
too.
there's a big market for it, and I'm
Yeah.
not against it. It's just that's not my favorites. And when I think about stop motion,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go to like what I recommended, like Kubo and the Two Strings.
That one
I
was
was.
so
It
good.
still had like a.
Kubo was so good.
It had like the animation style still seemed a little like scary. I guess like James and the Giant Peach.
Right.
Dude, I
Right.
forgot about Jamie
But
Jack
it was,
Peach.
it was a fun. It was a fun movie. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
trying to convey some weird dark message. It was a lighthearted
Yeah.
message. And Maurice and the seashell with shoes on.
Marcel the
What?
Marcel the shell with shoes
Yeah,
on.
I couldn't. Yeah, I watched bits and pieces of that at work. And
Yeah.
again, that's another stop motion thing. That's just it's fucking.
He
Fun.
was
That
trying
was-
to tell
yeah.
me this the other day and he couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're
He
talking
says
about.
she
He's like,
says down by the seashore.
I
Marcel.
cannot
Moral,
repeat
oral.
that.
They have like a movie now.
Yeah, like that movie was up for awards
It
for like
started
best
out as a
motion picture.
YouTube. Yeah. It was on YouTube when I was in college, and like me and my friends were like obsessed with it. Like Marcel the shell with shoes on.
I can't even say that.
I can't even.
Yeah, well, how
I
did
can't
you just
sell-
say that?
Because I loved it. Like, we used to talk about it a lot.
what was the one with the unicorns?
Charlie?
Charlie?
Yeah.
Charlie?
Oh,
Was that stop motion?
No, it wasn't.
motion?
No,
No, that was.
no,
but
it was
like,
animated.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I was like, that would
I was
be
like, whoa,
wild.
wait a
Like, 'cause
second.
that had-
It's a
I feel like it had the
magical
same kind of
Pluto.
vibes of like a
I feel like we
stop
should go
motion or
into like
something.
YouTube videos at some point, like
I was
those
like, are we
popular
sure?
ones like Charlie and all that.
No,
but
it's because it's one. It's like you were trying to get us to watch the Book of
Life?
Book of
Book of
Life
Life.
because you thought it was
Oh.
stop motion, but it just it was animated to look like stop motion,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah.
So that's how that one was.
That's how that
Even-
it was animated to look like it was stop motion. And also when it comes to like I guess cheaper animation, it's a lot choppier than like if you're watching a highly produced cartoon, you know.
Well, this kind of like goes back to what you were talking about earlier, Crystal. Stop animation from like years ago to stop animation now. When we watched Kubo, we were like, there are some moments where we're like, wait a second, like because it's so well done. Like it's crazy. Like we're like, is this stop animation? And Danny was like, yeah, it is. But we also looked it up and there were some elements that they digitized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some green screen in
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
background type stuff. But even
But not
like
much of it,
even
yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas did stuff like that.
Like the
It was like 80%,
Yeah.
stop motion and real stuff
The
with
fight
like
with all the swords.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say
fucking
whenever
That
like
was
he's
so
like
good.
telling the story in the beginning, he's like playing
Yes.
and like the little like man
Origami?
yeah, little
The
like origami,
origami,
figures
yeah.
are like moving and dancing. Like it's just so pretty.
It is.
Such a good
That's so cool.
movie.
I think
so
it
nice.
brought like a new art to the style.
It did. It was a very cool art style, and then on top of that, like the fact that it was stop motion. So I don't know. I appreciate the whole artistry behind it,
Yeah.
For sure.
and
Yeah.
to like create an art style and then turning that into stop motion clay animation, like that is it takes a lot.
I don't know if y'all saw at the end of Kubo, like after the end credits, where they show like part like a behind the scenes
Of
type thing.
the skeleton.
Yeah.
yeah, that was way too cool.
It did, and I don't know why I decided to like this movie so much, and I think it's because
It's
when
a
it
good
came out,
movie.
So
I felt like
good.
it didn't get a lot of like nobody had watched it.
No,
and
I didn't even know it existed.
I watched it on a whim with Audrey and fell in love with it. And
Yeah.
It's because again, when you think of stop motion, you go the eerier route, like people
Yeah.
like Coraline and all that.
Corpse Bride.
Yeah.
This just felt different, and it was stop motion, but it was stop motion with a lighthearted, fun message, and I could watch
Yeah.
this movie.
Shout
not
out
have to
Neil
worry about
Gaiman.
it.
Did you
Sorry,
say?
Did Neil Gaiman make Kubo
Coraline.
and the Two Strings? Oh,
like
I was
Coraline.
like,
Sorry,
I
go
didn't
on.
say Coraline.
yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that behind the scenes bit that they showed at the end, the scale was way bigger than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Like the skeleton was huge.
Yeah, when I first saw that, and it's like you could see the green screen. I think,
Yeah, yeah,
behind
yeah.
it, and it's just fucking towering.
Huge.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to. Be that big.
I was like, oh my god, that is way bigger scale than I thought it was. Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah, because you think of like the behind the scenes of what you've seen for like Nightmare Before Christmas, where they're like,
It's all model, like
Yeah.
Like that
model
Godzilla
size,
scenes when it comes to like Tokyo being like
Yeah.
the size of this
Yeah.
table. Like I expected it to be tiny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
It was not. It was
It
not
was
tiny.
so cool.
So I think about one of my favorite styles. Like I don't know, you guys have different.
Yeah, no, of
preferences,
course.
But I don't know what it's called. But it's whenever like they get a human, like an actual person, kind of like integrate.
Talking about like Roger Rabbit or like Cool World or
Honestly,
Kinda
or even
what
like
they did in
Mad
that-
God.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I was
what
gonna
they
say
did in
that was
Mad
crazy.
God.
They
But
did have
it's
some
it's
people
when
go
like an actual person comes in and you can still tell there's like claymation around it.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when they shoot to like a foot scene or something, you could tell it's an actual shoe, but all the things around it are like claymated. Like I love that. I love that so much.
That's cool.
did you guys ever watch The Puppet Master?
Yes,
I watched
dude. I
Only
love
with you.
Puppet Master.
So
Oh my gosh.
so that was like it's an old horror film, like B film, like they're not good at all, but I fucking love them.
Dude, Puppet Master.
Those puppets were stop motion, except there's one, his name is Pinhead, where
What'd you call me?
Motherfucking,
Who you calling Pinhead?
so the puppet has a tiny head, big ass arms, and what they would do is whenever that puppet is like choking someone out, they would put real gloves and hands on, and they would film it up like the camera angle is like the hands of that puppet in like first person. And so they would use human hands for those close-ups, and then whenever like it would be, go back to the puppet, it would just you would just still have the big hand. I don't know.
Looks like
It was
him,
really cool. Like it was
That's
a cool
cool.
way to like integrate person with stop motion and stuff like that.
During that time, they just had like I think Demonic Toys was another one.
Yeah, actually, there's a
Man,
version
oh my
where
gosh,
there's a
man.
version where they fight.
each other,
yeah,
right? Man, y'all got to see that shit.
They're the worst best movies you could ever watch.
Exactly. I think that one was all about like a corporate was taking over or something.
Yeah.
The Puppet Masters, or their whole team, their whole squad, they were the good guys.
Yeah,
It's like,
even though
fuck
technically they're
yeah.
bad also.
Exactly.
Like Freddy versus Jason when you started cheering for Jason.
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of them has to be the good guy. Like they're not good, but they're better than the other.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely Puppet Master was the good guys
Yeah.
of.
So in I'm thinking about like other movies that may have used like some level of like claymation and it may not be, but like in Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
Was any
there's
of
a
that
lot-
stop motion?
it was.
Like,
A lot
the
of it
shrunken
was.
head and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Well, the shrunken head wasn't stop. That was
the snake
I was gonna
was.
see
the snake was
right?
Okay.
Yeah, there was a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
scenes where
Yeah.
like things got like when he transformed the house into his
Yeah.
world, the chairs would like form into something, and that was a lot of stop motion.
It's probably utilized way more than
Yeah.
we ever
Yeah.
realized.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
like. So a lot of the older horror films and just movies in general, like Jurassic Park. Like I said, Jurassic Park was gonna have clay animation, like heavy clay animation.
Man, I'm just
Or in stop
imagining
motion.
like a giant stop motion.
That is so weird.
It would have been there's
Very
footage
different.
there's footage of
Have to go check
test
that out.
like test footage for Jurassic Park with a stop motion like
Wow.
Velociraptor and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It looks cool. It would have been creepy, but
Not the same.
it wouldn't have been the same.
It wouldn't have felt real.
It wouldn't be as
Marcel's, she shells,
Marcella Shella, she's
juxtaposition.
I started watching Community. Sounds like it's way off base of what we're talking about right now.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that's with
But
Donald
I was
Glover.
like, I was like, I'm like way behind on it, and I've seen like clips, I've seen episodes, but everybody keeps talking about it. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not watching anything else right now. Let me just put it on. So I started watching it, but they have a whole Christmas episode.
Oh, I love that
done
one.
in stop motion.
Oh,
No way.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That one's
awesome.
actually really good. 'Cause
Is it like
I
the
started
very
watching
beginning?
Community
Yeah.
like a few months ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh shit.
I saw that episode. I was like, holy shit. It's like Celebrity Deathmatch. The way they were.
By the way, I
that's
still
funny.
don't know what
Yeah.
celebrity death is. You guys have mentioned it like
man.
four times, and I don't know what it
We
is.
are gonna go back.
Tell you because the only reason I knew about it is because my brother and I had to take turns with like what we watched on the TV.
Yeah.
And when it was his date, we were watching Celebrity Death.
You have Michael
You were
Jackson
quiet the
versus,
entire time?
Yeah, I didn't say shit. I was like,
So
She didn't want y'all to yell at her.
Crystal.
smiling.
so imagine a show that is all clay animation, but it's like WWE, and they do celebrity
You would love
versions.
this
Yeah,
shit.
that sounds like everything I would not like.
It's so good.
And
It is so
it's like
funny.
extremely brutal.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was about to say it gets vulgar.
yeah.
And the commentators are fucking great because they are the biggest.
They're
pieces of shit,
funny.
but they are fucking
Yeah.
hilarious.
It's like
Right now, thinking
Yeah,
about
I'm
it
not
though, like
gonna
it
lie,
would
it's
be,
you're fine.
it would be so heavily censored if it came out now.
Yeah.
If it came out now,
They
dude, people would
definitely
be
went
like
for
so
it.
butthurt
They
about
got
it.
like one of the
God.
announcers. He has like titties on one episode.
Yeah, like they have no problem fucking with stereotypes.
Yeah, one of the
and-
dudes went on a binge one episode where he's like doing drugs and stuff,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
went crazy.
That's the dude with the mustache,
Yeah,
right?
yep.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I feel like that animation style reminds me a lot of Moral Oral too.
Yeah,
Moral fucking.
yeah. I showed you
my gosh.
that
Yes.
show. That show is
That show's so
wild.
funny.
His dad was always drinking Moral.
And molesting him.
Dude,
Yeah.
the belt. Was that what he was doing?
No, he was beating the
He was
shit out of
his
him.
ass. No, the dad was okay. So Moral Oral was so fucking wild because they were all religious, but the dad was secretly gay. The
Yeah.
wife
Yeah.
was secretly messing with the dad's gay lover.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
son, the other son, was really that guy's son, and it was so
Yeah.
fucked.
New
Moral, like,
generation.
got addicted to drugs to buy like
I love that
action
episode.
fig- like-
I love that episode so
yeah,
much.
shut up, Jesus.
Was that like? was that
tripping
stop
out.
animation? Dude?
It is, yeah.
Dude, that one's done
Yeah.
really well. It has its choppy moments, but like they knew they were doing some shit in that. Like I don't think
Yeah.
it ended on a good note.
No.
like they ended like it was a bad ending for like everybody. I think Morals, his dad or something left.
Yeah, that show takes a really fucked up turn.
Yeah, like, it was
I
bad.
want to
like-
talk to these creators.
love it.
I
It was
need,
Like, there's so much of this
was
content.
like, that was for kids.
I'm just not
I
interested.
was
no, that was
yeah,
on
I
Adult
was like, I
Swim,
need,
bro.
like,
That was Adult
That was
Swim.
Adult
I was
Swim.
there.
therapists involved, and I need to know like
facts.
mentally what the fuck were they going
Drugs.
through?
They
when
were going
created
against
all
their
this
fucking
shit.
brain, bro.
And
Yeah.
even then, if they're on that much
Yeah.
drugs, how are people just like, oh yeah, that's great, we could do that? Like, you would assume at some point they'd be like, yeah, man, we should do that later.
Fabian, can you look up something
Like,
for me?
nothing would ever get
Weird
finished.
thing about it is
I don't know, like-
that shit create like it's like the like gateway type thing. Like without Nightmare Before Christmas and without like that weird eerie vibe that people are feeling when it comes to stuff like that, people would have never pushed the boundaries and done that, but then taken it an R-rated version, like with like Moral Oral or Mad God
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Well,
Like,
you know what? Moral Oral didn't come off as creepy. It came off as messed up.
Yeah.
It was like the animation was supposed to be cutesy, actually. Like
Yeah.
you get that first episode,
It's
you're like,
supposed
oh,
to look
innocent
like the
on
Christmas. It was
outside.
supposed to look like the Christmas movies.
And
Danny,
it
what
was
you got
not.
for me?
Can you look up who directed the stop motion animation short in ABCs of Death 2?
Ooh, I remember.
Because
Hack to mainframe.
not even
because
typing.
it
Staring
sounds
and he's like typing, and I'm looking at him like, "Are you actually fucking typing?" anything?"
He's actually just clicking randomly.
I just want to know because the
Yeah.
animation style and the art style is very similar to Mad God.
Are you asking me which episode?
No, who directed it?
The entire thing?
No,
The toilet one.
Oh, the
No,
toilet.
not the toilet one.
ABCs.
It's a different. It's I don't
Was
remember
it where the Asian guy had?
Was it two old men?
Oh,
With,
fuck,
like,
I know what you're talking about.
hold
But
on.
like,
I wish I could remember what letter it was
Yeah.
because the second one is creepy.
During this intermission,
laugh or something?
we're going to talk about Cats and Dogs, a movie.
Stop motion animation.
WB Studios.
Anytime that I watch or have seen Mad God, like it
Okay.
feels very similar.
I know for Mad God that was Phil Tippett, but I don't
If you
think
look
he
at
was
Phil
in.
Tippett's IMDb.
Yeah, let me check that. But I know Phil Tippett. We'll get into that. But most notably, he's known for his work on Jurassic Park, which we mentioned earlier.
Oh, wow.
And also Star Wars. So he was like
And
the visual.
Tarzan.
Actually, Star Wars had a
He wrote that
big.
song.
That's a different film.
They're all the same Phil.
No, you don't disrespect Phil Collins.
Hashtag
You,
racism.
you don't disrespect him by not knowing his name confidently.
I'm
killing
just
itself.
Yes.
Okay. So it's ABC to Death J. It's
J.
a samurai movie directed and written by Yude Yamagachi.
Okay, so it's
gay
not
man.
not
Oh,
the
never
same
mind.
guy.
I got a whole ass computer over here, Perkins. You found that shit.
And you're still slow.
You're the worst.
forgot. I was
man
checking
behind
my
the chair.
email.
By the way, we're
Man,
slowly
chair.
trying out Fabian as the guy in the chair. We're not sure if we're going to keep him long term.
I'm usually
but-
the hero, and then I got the guy in my chair, in my ear. You know,
So
I'm like,
cool.
Well, I remember
give me the
that.
directions.
Like,
Give me the
guy was
There
directions.
was like a
I
weird
laugh.
centipede kind of thing. There wasn't any like dialogue, but like it was like eating a person, and then it was kind of like becoming. I don't know. It was such a
Weird
strange
shit.
art,
Human centipede.
kind of.
We'll see if we could get that posted, but that's a beautiful transition into
Welcome to Nerd Shit.
To
the
what
ADHD
we
podcast.
have planned for y'all. So
We didn't have shit planned. You had it.
Yeah,
go.
what the
Let's
fuck?
do it. I'm ready
Man,
for this.
it's funny. It actually started like me, Alex, and Danny. We were all having
What?
breakfast.
Yeah, we
Alexa,
talked
do
about
not
it.
put her in that because we all could have lived without never have watching.
I
this.
thought it was
What
a
are we
didn't have to
talking
watch
about?
We were
This
like,
fucking God, what are
Mad God.
man, God, holy shit, y'all! It's on Shudder. You
Yeah.
should check
or
it out.
AMC Plus, you can get a 7-day free trial. Then it's $8.99 a month.
Check
Apple
that
TV.
shit out.
Promo code
Justin's
nerd.
also being paid apparently.
Not really.
Okay, but that's how I watch
Sponsor
it.
Promo
us.
code Kaka.
But man, this is a big one. So Phil Tippett is the guy that did it. This has been a passion project for him.
I was gonna say it took like 30 years
30
to make.
years. And it wasn't
Yeah.
because it was overly complicated. It wasn't because he had problems doing it. It was
Because he
because
had to keep upping his heroin dosage to keep up with that bullshit.
internally he was facing like this was like he was fighting his demons through this. Like this man hated working on it. It became like, you know, when it becomes like something you love through passion, it becomes like something you hate.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this project was for him. So I loved reading about that. I was like, holy shit. And I think he was expecting like some kind of gratifying feeling after this, but that is not what he got. And man, I got a few meanings
This is a
behind it,
fucking
but
nightmare.
let's just address basically like what the fuck this film is.
I'll start it off. So the opening scene, it is the tower, city of Babylon, whatever, and there's people all around it doing their weird shit.
Chanty stuff.
And there's a red sun. The red sun is representing God. And if you know about the Bible, he basically said, "Hey, fuck all y'all right here doing this crazy shit."
Well, it starts with that Bible verse from Leviticus. It was like super like, I'll fuck you
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
That was
it's
like,
a long
fuck
Bible
y'all.
verse.
And
he
God
does.
said,
Yes.
"Try me, bitch."
And instead of it, and where the
Leviticus.
like instead of destroying just the city,
20.
he decides to punish the entire world.
Yeah.
And that is what you're supposed to be looking at. Like the world is being punished eternally by God. And you have your upper layer, your lower layer. And you know from the rip it's gonna be a dark, twisted type of thing, because boy, oh boy.
the visuals of
literally
it,
dark.
the visuals of it
Yeah.
is crazy though.
Yeah.
Literally dark.
I mean, I honestly, I don't have a lot of things to say. I mean, I probably do.
Visually,
but-
what were you thinking?
Visually, I knew exactly what I was going to get myself into. I'd watched the trailer. I kind of knew
Okay.
where it was going to go. I knew it was going to be like an over-the-top movie. There were some things in it that I know have deep meaning, but
It felt
I
unnecessary.
also saw a creature tongue another creature's butthole and then get shit on.
We all been there.
The Passion Project.
Human
boob-ass
centipede.
creature.
That
Like,
had to be part of it.
I saw that and I was like, did that teach? And Crystal hadn't seen it, so I rewound it and stuck a tongue in his butt. Oh shit!
The
on,
one
yeah.
time he does rewind it,
Yeah, literally. He was like, I don't know if you want to
thought
see this, and then
everybody
went
had
back
to
and
see
played it,
it.
and I was like, I didn't need that.
I
You're
get it.
right.
And I know there was some, bigger meaning, and I watched it. It's always kind of cool whenever you see a project that doesn't have a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure there was only, aside from like the baby babbling, there was only like one phrase that was uttered that whole movie, and it was like, "Oh no,
Oh no,
something like
yeah,
that.
the spider.
And that was it, and that was cool. And the end of it, how they like wrapped it all up and it just reset was kind of cool. Yeah, it's not my jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically,
what did you
Not
guys?
mine either.
If you look at it, this is the way I looked at it. Humanity as a whole is destined to fuck itself repeatedly. If you look at the very end, the alchemists are this motherfucker you see in the movie
That's
right there, where you see the same dude except with a hat.
That's conscious.
He's called the
Trucker
alchemist
hat.
in
Yeah.
the movie. His whole goal was he was like, we need to end this world is fucked. Let's see if we can
Yeah.
just start over. And he does start over successfully. But what you see is the exact same thing you saw at the beginning. Instead of one tower reaching up, there was 3 towers reaching up. And they make you know it's the same thing because it's the red sun again.
Yeah.
God has come back and it's like, y'all really did this shit again, huh? And the bomb comes back into play. Bam, the world fucked itself
Well, and
over.
it was cool that it was humans
Again.
that set the bomb. Like
Yep.
humans were their own maker of like destruction. Like they fucked themselves.
They had the chance to do right. And after they fucked up, you remember how the bomb stopped when the one guy got caught? It started going forward again and blew up. But basically, it was going to be an infinite cycle of humanity, society as a whole, just fucking up.
Yeah.
And that was the bigger picture. And that's why they took the biblical route at the beginning. And there's so many different symbolisms going on. But symbolism aside, if we're thinking about stop motion, I think they did an amazing job. Because I was looking at some of the scenes, I was like, how long did this fucking take
Yeah,
for you to
man.
really do? Like the people when he's walking, there's the assassin guy with the helm, whatever. He's walking. There's a scene where these people sitting on a chair and they're just being fucking shocked. Like,
Oh my God, that
it
scene,
was
yeah.
so creepy, but it's stop motion,
Yeah.
and it's so eerie to see it. And you're supposed to be looking at Earth if it was a fucking hellscape.
Yeah.
When you take it and look like that, I think it brings a lot more impact into everything. Hell is not going to be a good place. You do not have any fucking hope. It's nothing but desolation.
Yeah.
And that is what he kept hammering home. And the fact you said this guy hated it, I fucking hate it too. There's nothing happy.
You know what though? I think that's the point. You're supposed to hate it. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. So
Dude,
maybe it did what it was
Before
supposed to do.
before
Yeah.
I get into the meanings and everything, Danny, Alex, do you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, I didn't get to finish it because
it was horrible.
time. No, I actually really enjoyed. I enjoyed the artwork
No,
side of it.
artistically, it was
the stop motion
pretty
side of it was.
Crazy, dude.
I that's the exact type of stop motion and like clay animation that I love. It's just
Yeah.
creepy. It's very raw looking. It's like perfect for that content. Just to give you just the worst feelings.
yeah.
Did y'all see this part where it got colorful and happy for 1
Oh,
second,
yeah.
and then they fucking ripped
That's
that
when
shit
they
away?
said, "Oh no!"
Yeah, they trick you. They give you one
I
moment,
even
and it
said,
was,
I was like,
beautiful.
this is
He was
awkwardly
like, "They're
happy.
about to ruin this."
Yep, and they did. And it was, and I knew something was up because they dump maggots in there for these things to eat, and it's eating. And you're like, oh, okay, they're feeding. Nah, let me trick you. Big ass colorful spider of death comes. Hey, I'm eating you. Oh no! Back to desolation, like that fast.
So this movie actually, I was so interested because it's a passion project. And like when people deal with their passion projects, usually they're letting like internal shit out. Yeah, so with Phil, basically we have like 2 interpretations, and one is like the biblical route, right? And obviously we could see that for what it is. And there was actually in the beginning the tower, if you count it, this movie it deals with numbers. So the numbers are very symbolic. And if you're counting every scene, like what's in there and shit, they relate to like some biblical thing. And in the beginning, there was 8 or something, 8, 9, something like that. But that represents Dante's Inferno.
Dude,
was wondering if
Vince
that-
said
yeah.
that same shit. That's wild.
Just to
I
leave
mean,
it said
people like-
layers of hell, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's it, because they didn't say it.
And it just so happens when the first assassin dies, he dies on the 9th, which is actual hell. So that's what we get to delve into. And man, it was pretty cool. I don't know, just seeing like the last human, he got like the Soviet feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like armies of slaves and stuff, and he had to deal with the world. Basically, the other route with this movie is that it represented communism. And so, you know, society literally eating itself from within. And they were like cannibals. I don't know if you noticed that.
Pinocchio did it, and that wasn't scary.
But like with they had all those scenes where they're like driving through the city, and I don't know if you guys wondered like why the fuck is everyone dying? Like even like literally they're whipping them and stuff. Like the
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
titans are like whipping those little gray people, you
They
know?
look like balls of lint. That
Yeah,
are,
yeah, and they're getting hit by like trucks and shit.
They
Like
got steamrolled by a bulldozer.
yeah. So actually, when they were doing that, they were becoming food, and that's how the society, like, they're literally on their last limb to where they have to eat each other. It was so sick. I don't know.
And
Yes.
okay, so like what you were saying about like it being like a passion project, and like them like sometimes like people put like their own struggles that they're going through. Like,
Yeah.
this man needs help. Then like he needs like legit ass help, because some of these creatures that like the monsters that were created were like, how the fuck did you think of that? Like, what went through your brain where you were like, yes, that's how this needs to look? And then you created that. Like, you had to, like, physically create that to make it for the zoo. So some of that shit was, like, super trippy. The fact that it took 30 years is like the only thing that I'm like, damn, that was like super impressive, because that took a long ass time for you to put this shit together. But then at the same time, watching it, I had to Google like what it was about, because I was like, it got to a point where I was like, I don't fucking understand. I was like, what is this?
What's happening?
What's happening? Why are we watching this? Like, oh my god, like there were so many things with it that were just like, I can't, like my brain could not wrap around it. There's like one scene where it's like a person or something like on like a table,
Yeah,
and they like
That's the
cut
first
him.
assassin.
Is that what it is? So they like
Yeah.
cut him open,
Yeah.
and they're just like, psh, and they're like throwing like guts and intestines everywhere. And eventually, I was like, why are they still doing this? Like, there are no more intestines. Like, I don't fucking understand what we're doing. Then they start pulling out like jewels and like money, and I'm like, is this scene almost over? Like, are we done? Like,
That scene was going
I
on for
can't.
minutes.
But it went on for so long. That's when I was like, I'm just gonna Google this shit.
Y'all remember
I
like
can't
like
do it.
it's a long running gag in Family Guy whenever they just take the joke a little too long, and you're like, this is awkward now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's like Peter Griffin like on his knee, and it's like
yeah,
45 seconds. Like there's
Yeah.
still, this movie just felt like one of those.
Yeah.
Like I get it, but it's what for me sometimes it exits passion, and you're just going for that shock factor, like that blood and gore look. Like I get it,
Yeah.
you're into it, it's cool, but this scene could have literally been 20 seconds.
I feel like after,
And we're still watching it.
Like reading about like what it's supposed to be about, and like understand, like hearing like what you had to say about it. I'm like, it makes it to where some of it makes more sense now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like I see what you were doing. I see where you're going
Even
with
that
it.
scene alone.
But again,
It's supposed to represent, like, all the scenes where you're like, this is fucking dragging out. It's meant to like represent that this world is like full of hopelessness.
Yes.
And so like there's you
Ooh.
think there's gonna
I'm
be
glad
like
I didn't watch this.
it's
not
really
dark.
it's
It's
really
dark.
Yeah, it's
dark.
very dark.
Yeah.
Very dark, dude. Like some of the creatures looked insane. There was like some of the sequences though were fucking actually like beautifully eerie. When the plague doctor or the alchemist is walking with that crying baby needs to shut the fuck up. I go, but he's going through and it's the metal bars of blocks that are opening every time he walks. I'm like, that had to take a minute because he's walking through and
Yeah.
it's opening.
The animation.
Can we
was
talk
fucking
about how
awesome.
that baby wasn't even a baby? It was like some
Metal.
weird ass
Cord
like
with a-
Metalloid.
worm thing,
Yeah.
and then they like put it on this thing, and then like
smashed.
squished it, and it like ran into like juicer and stuff, and they like used it for something. Like
They
again,
used it to make another universe. They got rid of this. They tried to save this universe by making another one. But humanity was like, hey, let's fuck it up for round two. And that's exactly what happened.
It was like, I don't know. I get the division, you know.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
for sure.
exactly where these scenes overstretch and shit. And then when I read the meaning behind it, I'm like, damn, that's cool. Like that whole you have to like destroy life to create life. And that was like one of the purposes in the end. It was like, holy shit.
Well, yeah, that was a whole like, it
damn.
was desolate because it got to a point where they weren't trying to live anymore. Humanity as a whole was like this is hell. And what they were trying to do was kill everybody. If you look at it, when he fucked up, how many other suitcases were there? That's how many times humanity failed to fucking stop this. And you knew it was coming again because he opened it and that weird creature grabbed him. And all those bodies you saw when it panned out before they dug out his intestines and stuff, all of them were failures. And that's how many times the alchemists had come back. Every time they dug in them, they got the baby. And they were showing you that society as a whole, as a cycle, was just going to keep fucking up.
Yeah.
And it sucks when you think about it like that. It's like, damn, bro, is it that deep?
This shit's real.
It's crazy because then you look at it like, damn, we fucked up.
Yeah.
So I want to know what was going on in his head. What demons were, like, what the fuck was happening in those 30 years?
I want to know what was happening because I was looking at some of the influences that he had. One of them was Eraserhead, but this man was also working on actual like big ass films during the time. So like he wouldn't like try to, I think one of the things that he didn't want to do was actually like incorporate what he had just done from a movie and put it into like his passion project. But he got some
Keep everything separate.
Yeah, that scene from where the baby's being pulled out, that's like literally from Eraserhead. I don't know. This man was like listening to like 9 Inch Nails or something. Like, fucking.
This is like, all right, I'm going to listen to every Tool song on repeat, which is going to take about 30 years and make a movie in that time.
They did that shit Danny was talking about where they took the real person
Yeah.
and put it in there. They did that during the surgery scene. That came out of nowhere and tripped me the fuck out when they had a real person do that scene. They had it was a woman.
Was that a real
man.
person, the nurse that took the baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had a real person for the nurse, the doctor, and then
like
the creepy.
the radio
there was, like,
guy or
3
whatever.
people.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere. The plague guy was huge apparently because she was just looking up at him. I was like, damn, bro, what the fuck is going on?
It's so ambiguous. Like as soon as you think you know like what's going on, the first thing I established, I was like, this movie has no purpose. And it's because the assassin you see as another fucking symbol. Like he's pulling out the map
And it keeps.
and it
falling
keeps
apart.
rippling apart. It's like you have no purpose.
I'm not gonna lie, I gave up on the movie after the weird tongue butthole shit. Like I did. I kid you not. That's when I was like, all right, I know this dude's going for this.
He's
shock factor
vanilla.
that's gonna make it. If that means I'm vanilla, call my ass vanilla.
I'm a bean.
Yeah, I'm vanilla bean. Like, I'm okay with it. But I want to know what demons he went through. I was like, you remember that one time we did that shit in Mexico and that weird stripper put her tongue in my butthole and I shit on her? Like, we're going to put that in this movie.
Because life is hopeless.
It's one of those movies like if you watch it, it's gonna be weird. Just know that from the start.
definitely
It's very
fucking
dark.
weird.
You may or may not like it, depending on what type of movies you're into.
Don't watch it with children.
At all.
Yeah.
Do it.
God almighty.
I just think about the commitment this guy had to have because I've had so many like things I've been like hyper fixated on, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be my life now. And then like a week later, I'm like, well, what else can I do?
Yeah, maybe that's why
Maybe.
maybe that's why he hated it because he was able to fixate on it for so long, but then
Yeah.
got tired of it and was like, I have to fucking finish this.
Well, I can relate to it
I
as
was like,
far as
that's why it
like
took him 30 years.
with like music.
Yeah.
There's moments when I was doing music where I was like, I fucking hate doing this,
Yeah.
and I would
And you expect
something would
payout.
something would reignite the passion for it, but it could have been the same thing if he was like overloading with like other projects
Right.
and still doing this because stop motion you have to have patience for.
For sure.
Like you can't just like, all right, I'm gonna do this whole movie and it's gonna take scene after scene after scene after
Plus, a
scene,
committed
like
team for 30 years because he definitely didn't do it all by himself.
no,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so much involved in that kind of stuff.
I would
think
quit. I don't do this anymore. Find another person.
I will tell you, Fabi, that
I'm
the
bored.
only and again, I knew I wasn't gonna like it. Like I knew as soon as I watched the trailer,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like this movie.
Yeah.
But the biggest gripe I had at it really was the end and its inability to be fucking done. It had like 6 endings.
Yeah.
Or like the screen would go black and I was like, we're gonna get an end. We're gonna get a title sequence.
He said,
I kept like hitting the button to see like where it was on the time.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, maybe like
left.
5 minutes worth of credits. So we only got like a minute left and it kept fucking going.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, the end of the movie was probably my favorite part of it, just because, not because it was ending,
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
finally got to see some of like like the world reset and like the birth of the universe. Like
I had to get some
that was
closure
kinda
out of it
Yeah.
too.
Did y'all stay for the very, very end
No.
and see the big eye? See, there you go.
There was the big eye in the very beginning. Was it the same eye?
It's another eye.
Yeah,
but that
okay.
even
Another
itself
eye.
has a
I already
symbolic
seen
meaning
two
to
of
it.
them.
His left eye.
Left
Kubo's left eye.
Kubo.
There
We
was
found it.
theories that the main guy you
That's
saw
where it
sending the
went.
assassins down, he's sending assassins to different worlds to fuck them up.
Oh,
Fuck that shit.
I was gonna say,
Kubo
like,
uses the two strings and it represents his parents, though.
Yeah.
And that creats the music that helps
That
him
was
fucking
dope.
beat his
And then he
bitch
was
ass
like,
grandpa.
Wow, this
And then
changed
he
to
stretched
a
it out,
different
and I was
movie.
like, your hair's not that long.
But
Kubo.
you,
The
you
fuck?
don't know he's got that shit tied up. Maybe he had a stray hair that he was like, I'm keeping this long one in case I need a guitar string.
Okay, I suppose.
Okay.
Anyway,
there ain't no ass
good.
eaters in that movie.
and the whole time in the movie, I was like watching him play his little guitar thing, and I was like, "That's three strings. That's three strings. When it's become three strings, that's three strings. That's three strings."
Oh,
And then when he used the string from before with his that represented his dad, and the one that represented his mom, I was like, two strings, and he put on another one, and I was like, "That's three strings." Kubo with the three strings.
Kubo is one of the strings. So it's
Yeah.
Kubo and then the two strings. So it's three strings.
Okay.
Maybe
okay.
he's
I can,
one
I
of
can give that.
maybe he's one of the strings being pulled by society.
Good on
No,
there, you know?
no.
It's a matter of family coming together to stop evil, you raggedy
Yeah.
bitch.
Ooh, raggedy.
I feel like moral of the story is Kubo and the two strings is there, and then this other one, like you got to be like fucking really into that shit to
Drop
Yeah.
acid,
Not gonna
watch
make it.
and-
Do not drop acid and
No,
watch
I
it.
feel
What the
like-
fuck
I
know.
are you
What?
saying?
I will say though, like
God.
above all, like absolutely appreciate
make
the
sure your
artistry.
mental
Yeah.
health
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
1,000% like.
Yeah, no, could
It's
not
dark.
do that.
I can appreciate everything about it and still
Yeah.
hate it. It definitely, the work that they put in is just second to none. 30
Yeah.
years?
Yeah, 30
The
years,
artistry was
man.
like definitely like, oh wow. Like I think about the settings of it, like just seeing the scenes or like the world they created.
Yeah.
Looks
Just think about
so
how
cool.
changed, like how different his worldview probably changed in that 30 years that he wanted to keep on trying to incorporate it.
Maybe
That-
it didn't change. Maybe it just
Like that's
stuck.
the Crystal. That's like your entire life.
Old
You're
me.
30.
Damn.
Like, that's the length that he worked on this movie. It was your entire
Uh-oh.
life.
Oh no.
damn, called out the age
shit.
and everything.
Oh god. I think
the
we're gonna have to
oldest
wrap it up, y'all.
We're all younger than she is.
On that
Everybody
note,
here is younger
Which is
than
hilarious
she
because
is.
you guys definitely are not.
We're all everything.
But I am in spirit.
in spirit.
but y'all, we have talked about some good ones. I'm sure we've missed out on a
ones.
lot as well.
Yeah.
Is
But
there anything else?
yeah, do you guys have any upcoming
Is there
ones
any
that you're
other
thinking
stop
about?
motion that
I think we hit a good amount, bro. I'm not gonna fucking
There
lie.
were so
Even
many
the
I didn't
old
even
school
think
Christmas
were.
ones. that's
Yeah,
like
those
old
ones I didn't even
shit.
think about.
Y'all didn't expect me to whip that shit
I
out,
didn't
huh?
think about.
I'm actually
Yeah.
really glad you did because it
Yeah,
kind of
me
made it
too.
more enjoyable in the beginning.
Shot
Damn
in the
right.
sheet.
I love-
Sorry.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
I was just thinking about
Thinking
the
of, like,
other one
Heath
while
Ledger.
Robert did.
I think like every time someone tries to make like a Christmas episode, it's stop motion. Like Elf has like
Yeah,
stop
Elf has
motion.
that
Yeah.
style.
They do.
Hey, you're just paying homage to like that.
That Christmas, like it's just there. You think of one, you think of the other.
I'm actually really surprised that we didn't talk more about like Nightmare Before Christmas. I just assumed that would be a.
I feel like
I
that's
think we kind of
Everybody
avoided
knows
it.
Nightmare Before
So,
Christmas
yeah.
has been talked about enough.
You know,
It's like
people
yeah,
killed it.
honestly,
exactly.
I was gonna choose something like Coraline, but I was like, let me
Even
fuck them
Coraline,
up.
Coraline has been
Exactly,
talked about
They're
a lot.
exactly.
extremely like mainstream.
You went for one that most people like
Would not.
wouldn't go for.
I
And
like that, though.
I appreciate
Yeah, me
it. It was fucking different.
Check out
I had
Mad God,
children
y'all.
questioning me. What are you fucking watching? Why are you
What the
watching
fuck?
this?
How did you find this?
What are y'all?
Are
What's
you
your
okay?
podcast talking
As
about?
soon as he said it, I just saw like the picture. I got like My Bloody Valentine vibes. I think. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
like the minor.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh fuck. And I was like, where can I find it? Shudder. God damn it.
Shudder. Justin
Yeah, he put the trailer on and he was
notoriously
like,
hates
yeah, we gotta watch
horror.
this short. And I was like,
fucking Shudder. Come on.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah. So I
Can
waited
we
until
just
the
do
last
one
one.
that
like,
has nothing to do with the horror?
we literally watched it and then came to record.
Well, guys, I
Alright.
think that about wraps it up. If you have some stop motion shit you want to
Yeah.
talk about,
Keep it to yourself.
No, if we forgot anything big, I want to know about it.
Yeah.
please.
But yeah, also,
there's
you
such a
can tell us
like
stuff
realm in
that-
this. But yeah,
Tell us your secret.
follow us on
Drop it in the
Instagram.
comments.
Check us out on Facebook. We'll be doing some comic hauls pretty soon as well. Check out all of our videos.
Yeah.
And leave a like, subscribe, and we're going to get the fuck out of here.
Yay.
So,
Later.
peace.
Bye.
See ya.